So let's understand little about the Consumer Court Act, which is very recently had been launched by the central government on 20th July. The rules of this particular law has been already enforced in this country. Consumer Protection Act 2019, which is enforced in this country on July 2020, is now a new act in this country, the third act, and which has changed the whole horizon of the country. Because I just give a highlighted point of this Consumer Protection Act 2020. Act has got new chapters, which was not in 1986 Act. It applies to health sector. New chapter of mediation cell, where first time the consumer dispute is going to dissolve by the mediation. An order given by the mediation cell, that a report made and furthers to that district commission, if the order is placed, it is not going to be challenged in any of the court. So both the party are willing to settle the matter. They can go to mediation cell legally and settle the matter. The new chapter of product liability. Product liability means, I'll give example, teleconsultation product is also a product. Implant is also product. Lots of product we deal in the medical practices. Earlier, the defect of a manufacturer was dealt by the manufacturer only, but new law says that service provider, now I am using this particular technology platform, I am providing a service to you of education. So even the service provider is going to be liable for the purpose of new law. So product liability is very strictly taken under this new act. And third very important changes what they have brought is the watchdog in the form of Consumer Protection Council. So CCPA is another chapter where a separate body has been created to preserve the consumer rights. So now, because of this body, earlier, if there is a direct relation between patient and doctor, and patient has paid the money, then he was allowed to go to the court. But as per the new law, even any third person who never ever came to you also can complain against you, looking to your advertisement. Suppose you are given some cosmetic advertisement or knee replacement advertisement or liver transplant, some advertisement which is misleading, which is giving a warranty and guarantee, which is not in correlate with the normal practice, then any person can complain to CCPA about such advertisement, and CCPA can investigate the matter. If CCPA found the violation of a law, CCPA can penalize. The penalty is in the form of 10 lakhs rupees first compensation, 50 lakhs rupees for continuous violation of law, 2 years punishment. So CCPA is being given a very huge power. They can call back the product. They can do anything. So this is a new body, the watchdog. Law is already enforced. CCPA has given a power for adulterate drug, for spurious drug, for lots of things has been brought under CCPA. And third is a consumer 4 hours, now which has been changed to consumer commissions. So it is going to be district commission, it is going to be national commission, it is going to be state commission. And the jurisdiction part has been changed. Earlier, to file a case, cause of action has been the domain of deciding the jurisdiction. If something I have treated a patient in Mumbai, my case can go to only Mumbai jurisdiction. But now because of new CPA law, the patient can file a case against the service provider anywhere in the country. Because the word mentioned here, where they reside or work for the gain. So patient who has purchased material in Mumbai, when came for the tourist purpose, and this tourist when went back to Orissa, can file a case in Orissa court. So where he resides, so taken a treatment from a doctor at Mumbai, he can file a case in Orissa. So now liability is going to be all India. Doctor need to be protected all India. They need to have an organization like Doctors Risk who has got advocate across the country. They need to have an indemnity policy which is working across the country. So protection gear is needed for every medical professional, because case can go anywhere in country. And friend, after AMRI case, which is a landmark case in our country, where 6 crore plus interest, 11 crore compensation was given by Supreme Court, upper limit of filing a complaint has gone in our country. I have got a cases of 28 crore for injection abscess death. I have got a case of 29 crore for cesarean section death. 10 crore plus is multiple cases. So upper limit is gone. Because Supreme Court has said human life cannot be compensated with any amount of money. So in such a scenario, the new act, the new law of 2020, very clearly given a power to the district commission, I'm talking about small commission board, to take cases where consideration paid up to 1 crore, state commission up to 10 crore, and national commission up to 100 crores. Friend, they have mentioned the word consideration paid, and which has been decided by National Commission on 30th August 2020. I'm talking about very recently, 12 days back, where the judgment came, where the 60 lakhs, 30 lakhs as a premium was paid for 30 crore policy by industry. Believing that the compensation is of 30 crore, they went to National Commission. But National Commission has found that even if at all compensation is of 30 crore, what consideration has been paid? They found from record that consideration was below 1 crore rupees. They have dismissed the application and they settled the law. Means if at all compensation of 10 crore has been sought, but payment is done of 1 crore, below 1 crore, then it is going to go to district commission only. In my opinion, every medical negligence case hereafter is going to go to district commission only. District commission is going to adjudicate the case of all sort of. So medical legal consultant can practice, argue the matter in consumer district commission of your own district where you are. So every district will have a district commission now. So jurisdiction has changed, pecuniary, filing complaint jurisdiction has changed. Looking towards the particular medical negligence case, the new law has brought a multiple newer definitions. They have brought the definition of unfair trade contract. So many of the doctors who are got fond of writing not for medical legal use on their prescription or any consent paper where matter cannot go to arbitration, matter cannot go out of the Hyderabad, so these types of words are prohibited. Now, if the contract is not a valid contract or anything has been imposed on a patient or a consumer, will be termed as unfair trade contract. So unfair trade contract, unfair trade practice like a consent, pre-printed consent form with a space to write a name of the doctor and patient and signature, which fits in every case as a generalized consent for every doctor, has been termed on 6th of July 2020 by the National Commission is unfair trade practice and deceptive in nature, where 10 lakhs penalty was given to the hospital for their high-headedness and arbitrariness. So friend, unfair trade practice has been defined, advertisement has been defined, misleading advertisement has been defined, harm is defined, which is in the form of mental agony, loss of concentration, that will be already included in Act. Furtherance to that, they have included the establishment where professionals has been talked about. They have included product liability. They have defined these also. So lots of new definition has been incurred under new CPI. And the greatest thing which has been brought under the purview of Consumer Protection Act is the domain of e-marketing. So e-pharmacy, e-prescription, e-commerce media, teleconsultation. So anything which is done on e-communication is also been brought under the purview of Consumer Protection Act. So lots of changes has been brought under this act, which is going to be a real game changer in this country, friend. And in that scenario, it is very, very important to understand the laws of the country. If you understand the laws of the country, you can really make a big difference. To make people understand, we are taking a lots of effort. The Global Institute is taking lots of effort to educate the people in detail, in depth about every laws, including your Indian Penal Code, in detail with the criminal liability, which 511th section, but which is applicable in medical negligence. They are taking a pain to educate the people in the Criminal Procedure Code, in Evidence Act, in a Medical Council Act, in a Consumer Protection Act, their procedure aspect. Global Institute taking all the care to educate the people in drafting documentation, in understanding the law in itself, every laws of the country which relates to medical practice like MTP Act, it could be a Organ Transplant Act, it would be labor laws in related to hospital industry and their practices. It relates to union issues with the patient. It relates to recovery because hardened money of a doctor, they always leave them where patient has ran away or not given a 50% paid or 138 check, that is with check clearance bounce. These are the laws which are needed, has been taught to their students, their people who are interested in promoting themselves as a medical legal consultant also wanted to take the cause of this. So medical law is changing very fast in our country, and Global Institute of Value Education is taking all the care to educate the people in that. So these are very required things which need to be taken care of. Nowadays, since every law plays vital role, including your registration and death certificate act, including the various act of the councils like DCI Act, Homeopathic Council Act, Ayurvedic Council Act, various other syllabus related act, lots of things need to be considered. Like Dr. Neeraj, as I rightly asked, can a BMS doctor do surgeries? So yes, if such a questions are being asked, you need to know the answer to that where you can really satisfy your client. Yes, Neeraj, in Maharashtra and other 13 states, because CCIM, the Central Council of Indian Medicine, has already accepted the allopathic practice and the technology platform as a new norm, and being an education guidance body who create the education, allowed BMS doctor across the country to practice and have a knowledge of all latest technology. In view of the same, 13 states in the country has already allowed their BMS doctor to do allopathic practice. If you ask me, in Maharashtra, BMS doctor and PG of BMS are very much in the purview of doing surgeries. So MD Ayurveda Gynec are doing cesareans, doing deliveries, doing all sort of a exercise which needed for the delivery. MS doctor of Ayurveda are doing all sort of a minor surgeries. ENT people of Ayurveda are doing. Maharashtra, because Maharashtra Act has amended in 2014 under the section 25 of MMP Act 1965, provision 5 and 4, they have elaborately spoken of, and they said that every advanced technology, advanced medicine can be used by these doctors. So depend upon Neeraj which state you are, you can be defined. So these are the laws which you need to know. Where what laws are applicable to allied professionals? What are the law which are governing to Ayush doctors? What are the law governing to the allopathic doctors? How and what way doctor can be defended? Or in nutshell, patient can be defended if at all need to be. So lots of things which we need to definitely take care in a medical law program where we need to really promote the things for the people. Laws are changing in our country. If you talk about MTP Act, how you look to MTP Act plays a vital role. MTP Act is nothing but a medical termination of pregnancy. The word itself says termination, means cutting the cord. So medically cutting the cord or terminating pregnancy applies only to the live pregnancy. If you understand the law and understand the interpretation of the law, in all sort of occasions where the missed abortion has already happened or bachchu already died, cannot be said to be terminated. So MTP Act talks about who are allowed to do MTP practice, what hospital are going to be registered, and how they are registered for what weight, like 12 weeks, 20 weeks, how MTP Act has got amended, how many weeks of pregnancy can be aborted, and then what section says of MTP Act. If you read MTP Act, section 8 very clearly says that all the doctors who follow these rules and regulation are immune under this case. That is, there are no criminal liability like. So protective acts are there, but we need to know it. If you know the law, you can really make a difference in the life of the people, friend. And not only MTP Act or organ transplant or IVF Act, lots of things. So in our country, laws are changing very fast. And because of this changing law, it is essence that everyone should know how and what way we can really defend our people and how they can really take care of that. Yes, as I'll give another example. Like Dr. Surya, I asked, what if a medico perform veterinary surgeries? Isn't that a crime? If you ask me the answer, as per the law, definitely it is a crime. Because you have been taught and trained for human treatment. where a veterinary doctor has taught and made academic qualification given in treating animals. So the both domain are different, like a dental doctor and allopathic doctor. If at all MBBS doctors remove the tooth extraction, then also it comes under the crime. I know a case where this MBBS doctor has extracted a tooth of a lady, unaware that she was having a diabetes, leading to septicemia, got admitted to Sion Hospital and died. And this doctor was booked under 304A. So every pathy has got their own limitations. Every specialty has got their own limitation. Every specialization in our country has got their own act. Veterinary has got their own act. The Ayurvedic and Unani Council, Siddha and Naturopathic Council has got their own act. Homeopathic Council has got their own act. Dental Council has got their own act. Allopathic Council has got their own act. In all given scenario situation, friends, when acts are already there, it is important that one should know the act. And if you know the act, then yes, you can be protected, you can be defended. And if you learn all these things, you can really become a great person to defend your client. I understand medical legal program organized by Global Institute of Biological Society for creating a medical legal consultant, medical legal experts across the country is a great initiative, and naturally it's my flagship program. Why great initiative? Because as our country is growing, as medical laws are growing, as things are changing, as health sector is becoming a prime focus of the country, the lots of litigation under the domain of a medical practice are happening. As we are going to corporatization, corporate hospitals are growing, we are going to need everywhere a very special people to take care of that. So medical legal experts are going to be in a huge demand. And when they are going to be huge demand, naturally they need to be created. And the Global Institute of Education Society is creating a medical legal consultant to fill up the demand, to balance the demand and supply. Because every hospital are going to need a medical legal consultant. And the people who does today can impanel to various hospitals across the country. And after impaneling, they not only can serve the society at large, they can also make a difference in the life of the people. Not only that, even the patients are badly needing an expert for their benefit. So there are many people who are going to fight for the patients also. And when they are going to fight for the patient, naturally, lots of difference they are going to make. So lots of understanding and medical legal program is given. How to handle the client, what way client can be handled, what way they have been pacified, how my doctor or patient can be benefited with my knowledge. These all been taught under medical. Naturally, marketing is the extra domain, because how execution of your knowledge must be done. And in all that cases, execution of knowledge, much difference can be brought in society. But for the purpose of that, you need to come down and take advantage of a new growing field and make yourself expert. In the process, you are going to learn a lot. Let me take another example, rather one more insight to you with the question of Dr. Neeraj, who said, sir, I am from MP, can I do minor surgery like a stitches and the removing of minor cyst, or use a local anesthesia? Neeraj, MP government is in a process of coming out with a notification. They have already allowed people. If you go and see the notification, there is already discussion happened for Ayurvedic doctor and for Unani doctor. And Chhattisgarh government has issued a notification for Ayurvedic doctor for allowing them to be allopathic practice. MP government are still in the process. Sooner or later, they are going to allow. Once they allow, then definitely you are going to be allowed to do, even to use a local anesthesia, even to do a minor surgery. But as on today, you are allowed to do the things which has been taught in your syllabus. I'm not talking about dressing. I'm not talking about smaller things like stitches and minor things which you are allowed. Only question is of pharmacological application. The single subject which differs is your pharmacology, because surgery subject is same. All other subjects are same except the pharmacology in all pathies. So if you see the pharmacology of homeopath, they talked about pharmacopoeia, or in relation to materia medica, or in relation to their homeopathic syllabus, where they are using homeopathic medicine. If you see the allopathic doctor, they got pharmacology subject. If you see the Ayurvedic doctor, they have got a pharmacology of Ayurvedic. So treatment is going to be in their path. So that is definitely going to block you at this stage.